everybody, it's Joel Morgan for 94.7 WCSX City of the Week. And this week we are in Farmington, and we are at a very historic spot in Farmington. We are at the historic Civic Theater in downtown Farmington, and I'm with the man of the theater, Mr. Scott Freeman. Scott, thank you for having us. Tell us about the historic Civic Theater.
Well, the Farmington Civic Theater has been around for a long time. At least that's what I tell the little kids. We're almost 81 years old. Been in downtown Farmington. An iconic Civic Theater neon sign out front guides the way right to our building. And most people don't realize that the theater was designed by the same architect that designed the Fox Theater in Detroit. His name is C. Howard Crane. He did a lot of theaters. Ours was one of them, a little bit smaller than the Fox, but nonetheless, it's got that classic Art Nouveau architecture.
I didn't know that. The architecture of the Civic Theater is, would you call it Art Deco?
Call it, I'm not an artist, but from my understanding and what I've been told, it's called Art Nouveau. It's fairly similar to Art Deco.
Yeah, well, it's cool, and it's clean, it's sleek, it's stylish, and it's a very happening theater here. The Civic Theater in Farmington is old in age, but it keeps up in kind of current in the movie show.
We try to, what I tell people is we try to keep it old-fashioned up front. So we've got the old slide-in letter menu boards down in our concession area.
Yes.
So the letters fall out every once in a while, but they're still really good prices. And we keep it high-tech in the background, so we're all digital, got a crisp, clean picture, robust sound, and comfortable seats. So you get the best of both worlds.
And you know what? That popcorn sure smelled good when we came into the lobby here. Do you have a secret popcorn recipe?
Well, we encourage people to eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And actually, we have a very specific amount of salt and flavoring that we put in the oil, and we keep it nice and steady. We pop it fresh every single day here, so it's nice and crunchy and ready to eat.
Well, maybe we'll get some samples to go. You know, the Civic Theater in Farmington has been around for so long, they've actually acquired some of their own memorabilia museum. And we are in the kind of the upper, I guess we'd be behind the theater, the audience right now, but we're at an upper level. And they have a little museum area in these showcases of different objects and things that they've collected over the course of time here at the Civic Theater.
Yeah, absolutely. If you come and visit us, we encourage you to go up to the museum upstairs, take a look at all the old photos going back from the 1940s to nearer today, and you can see them all around there. There's even one right here that shows a kid with his rifle on the street. This is before the theater.
That's outside of the theater right now.
Correct.
Wow.
So you see all the horses and wagons up there.
You used to be able to ride your horse to the theater. To see John Wayne.
That's a good one.
I'm trying.
Hard stuff.
Bailing it out.
We have an old movie theater here, or a movie projector as well. You can come and take a look at that. And Skip, who was a guy who used to own the used bookstore next door, he played the banjo out front.
Is that right?
All the time. We have one of his old banjos and straw hats from Henry the Hatter right here in Detroit.
Yeah, we've heard legends of his tales too.
Yeah.
Now, what is one of the cool objects here that you found in the Civic Theater that kind of relates to 94.7 WCSX?
Wow, since you asked. A couple years ago, I was personally trying to figure out a problem with one of our thermostats.
Yeah.
And I went up into an access space just above the upstairs theater. And I turned my light on and I looked deep into the bowels of our attic space.
Yes.
And I saw a radio hanging from an I-beam. So, of course, I had to go figure out what it was.
Yes.
And it still had an extension cord plugged into it. And when I plugged it in, it was from 1989, mind you.
Yeah.
And it was during the construction converting the balcony to a separate theater. I plugged it in. What station do you think it was on?
Was it 94.7 WCSX?
Yes, it was.
Classic rock in the Motor City. And you can see that radio on display right here in the museum section of the Civic Theater in downtown Farmington. It's our City of the Week with our new friend, Mr. Scott Freeman. City of the Week, Farmington, 94.7 WCSX.